So have you ever been in a car and hear a song coming through your speakers and instantly remember all the words? Do memories of another time or place, and usually this is the case, events flood your brain? That happens to me all the time. If I'm on my way to work or even walking down the street, a song hits my ears and bam, I'm somewhere else. Remembering the good times or the bad times. I've even had it happen to me when I've overheard music from another source, like in a grocery store. Actually, that seems to happen a lot in grocery stores. But that's what this channel is about. My musical memories. Things that flood my head when hearing a specific song. This story is about Rock Band. The song is called Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. For me, this song defines the game Rock Band. I remember seeing the E3 stage demonstration for the first game, the first Rock Band game. The developers got up on stage. There was four of them, I think maybe five, and they gathered what looked like guitars, a microphone, and a complete drum set. Each of them played a different instrument, and it all sounded great. I wanted it. But the fact that it was a press conference, meant I had to wait. The game wasn't done yet, so I had to wait a while. But when I eventually did get the game, I ended up going the cheap route, because the whole pack was almost $400 when it first came out. So I got the game with just a single guitar. I had the old guitar from Guitar Hero, and that one did work with it, so I was lucky. And I also had an old mic from another music game that, I'd kind of forgotten about. I didn't forget that much, I'll tell you. It was Def Jam's Rap Star. I know. But I like music games, and this one did rap music, did it pretty well. Rock Band night became a regular thing in my house. My best friend would constantly show up to play guitar. You see, he always liked to better his skills instead of just enjoying the music. So we would alternate between playing guitar and bass while my wife would sing most of the songs. The one exception was this song. I would usually love this one. After a few months, my buddy got into his head that he really wanted to play the drums. I couldn't afford them. I don't actually remember how much they were, but it was out of my price range. My friend wasn't having any of it, so he bought the Rock Band drums himself for a console he didn't know. He was a PlayStation kid, and we were playing on the Xbox 360. But he bought him for the 360, just to play over at my house. He hammered gleefully on the drums as often as he could, and he wasn't that bad. Of course, he got better over time. I did try playing the drums once, and quickly discovered that I lacked the manual dexterity to do it well, so I left the drums to him. We always had a great time jamming, each of us sticking to our favorite instrument. Well, until I Want a New Drug came up. Then it was my turn to sing. I'm a big Huey Lewis fan. I remember Sean bringing his then-girlfriend over to play Rock Band with us. We had met her a bit, but hadn't really formed any lasting opinion of her yet. I grabbed my guitar, Lynn snatched up the microphone, and Jenny, she stole the drumsticks, leaving Sean to play the bass. I don't remember what the song was, and I have tried. But we picked out our difficulties. Lynn picked hard because her voice and talent easily hold that level. Sean played hard as well because he liked to improve his bass skills. I, of course, played the usual medium just so I could fully enjoy the music. But Jenny, she went straight for expert. We all thought it was a mistake. She couldn't possibly have meant to pick that. Wasn't this her first time playing Rock Band? The song started. Holy crap, could she play? She went from song to song playing those drums like she'd been doing it all of her life. We played along in stunned amazement. Sean would occasionally bring over his roommate Jess as well. The difference between her and the rest of us is that she could actually play a real guitar. She wasn't that great at the game, but her skills away from the video game were pretty neat. The only problem is she always wanted us to play Wonderwall by Oasis. The rest of us really hated that song. I still have it on my most hated song list, along with that Chris Isaak song, Wicked Game. I just get shivers still thinking about those damn songs. But Jess really loved Wonderball, so I bought the DLC for the game. It never got played unless she was over, but Jess was really happy when we would play it. The first Rock Band kind of had a final boss level, in video game terms. What it was a set list where you were required to play all the songs in the game. There was no saving, So if you quit or failed, you'd be forced to restart from the very beginning. And there were 58 songs in the first Rock Band. And with each song being about 3 minutes, that was almost 3 hours worth of music straight. So, Sean, my wife, and I all got together to knock this boss out. We only played 2 instruments, one singer and one guitarist. The logic was that one person could grab drinks or rest or ENP while the others kept playing. We played it straight through. Occasionally, we still brag about beating that boss. Things didn't really change for Rock Band until the third one came out. There was a keyboard now. My friends and I at work constantly chatted about gaming things, and eventually, Rock Band 3 came up. It was just before Christmas, and I was trying to get my hands on the keyboard to play Piano Man in the game. They also had other great piano-inclusive songs like Sister Christian and Imagine. I mentioned it to my friend, who told me he didn't really know about the keyboard instrument. I also explained my troubles of finding it. I had looked online as well as locally, but I just hadn't had any luck yet. A couple of days later, I heard that a local EB Games had gotten one keyboard in stock. Just one. Well, I was working late that night, but I foolishly told Dan that I was going to buy it the next day, on my way home from work. I called the EB Games the next day, only to find out that it had been sold. They also told me that they didn't know when they'd be getting more in. I later discovered that Dan had bought the keyboard. He bought my keyboard. It was then that I learned that sometimes I should just keep my mouth shut. I mean, I did get one later, and it was fine to play with. Harder than I was expecting, though. They never allowed the keyboard to be used in a Rock Band game after that, though, so maybe the piano players of the world wouldn't buy one either. I don't know. It was weird. There have been several versions of Rock Band released over the years. Beside the number ones, which there were 3, they also put out several specialty ones. A Lego version came out, which had some really unique songs on it. More of a kid-friendly type of thing, but they weren't dumb kids' pop songs. There was stuff like Elton John, I'm Still Standing, things like that. The kids and I had a great time playing through that one. There was an AC/DC one that came out, but the tracks were all the live versions of their songs, so my wife refused to play it. Being a huge AC/DC fan, I think it offended her sensibilities not to have the studio versions to play. But I do know that I was the only person to have pre-ordered that copy. The guy at the store looked at me like I was crazy when I did pre-order it, and when I picked it up, he was a little confused. They also released a ridiculously expensive specialty one called Beatles Rock Band. My daughter was a big Beatles fan. Having listened to the original records when I was younger, I was ecstatic that we could share that love of the Beatles. She also really enjoyed listening to the music, but not so much playing the game. But the family had a fabulous time playing the Beatles songs all together. There was one last band-specific Rock Band game. Green Day. I still can't believe they made a version out of only Green Day songs. I personally will never ever know why. So probably a year or 2 after it came out, I bought it on sale and immediately gave it to my best friend because Green Day? Oh, hard no, every day. But Sean, he was happy. When they finally released Rock Band 4 for the Xbox One, it took me a little time, but I took the plunge and bought it. As with everything, it did go up in price, but it was Rock Band, and we had a long history of playing, music games in the house, so I had to have it. And it still gets played to this day. We even buy regularly the DLC, which still gets released. Now only if they put out more DLC with Hailstorm in it. That'd be nice. But thanks for listening to another story that fell out of my head. I really like these music games, and if they also grab your attention, please let me know which ones make you hum in the comments below. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, continue rocking on.